All right, joining me now is Michael Weiner. Gold almost at $5,000, folks. Today was around $4,980 some odd dollars. Silver went to over $102. And of course, we've just come off Davos. And one of the recurring themes there at Davos, including from Fink with BlackRock and the chairman of the World Economic Forum, is digitalization, tokenization. Hey, we've been warning people. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. You want to be diversified, and you don't want to be under their thumb, particularly when and if capital controls go into effect. You want to be outside of some of their purview. And that, of course, is the beauty, I think, of precious metals. I don't give financial advice, I give financial opinion. But let's see what Michael Weiner thought about some of the clips, and we're going to play a few here, coming out of Davos. But first, Michael, why is gold and silver popping up so high? Silver now up well over $102 an ounce. By the way, we're ahead of schedule for your predictions, aren't we?
Yeah, I said 5,000 by March, and we're a little bit ahead of that. Last year I was, and when I said that, gold was $4,200 December 1st, December 2nd, whatever the date was, and I said we could possibly see $100 silver. Right now, what people have to understand, there's a big thing you got to get through your head. Gold is not expensive now. Get ready, because gold is cheap right now. You're going to be looking at $5,800, $6,000 gold year end. You're going to be looking at $175, $200 silver. What you have to understand is what's going to happen to everything else and how to properly protect yourself, especially from the digitization that they're talking about, and especially the fact that everybody, now even the crypto industry, is trying to align themselves with stabilizing their relationship to gold. That's why central banks are moving in that direction. It's no rocket science. There's other things going to be going on this year that are overwhelming, and that is our reestablishing our debt. We have to roll over $39 trillion, and we're not going to get the interest rate we got before. And guess what? I believe the correction in the stock market's underway, and don't wait till it happens. But for those people who sit back, Brandon, and say gold's too high, it's cheap. We thought gold was too high a year ago when you and I talked, when gold was literally at 2,500, and I said it would be 44,000 by year end. And right then, people thought it was high. You're going to go through the same thing right now. For all of the people out there, gold is inexpensive right now. These are the lows of the year. And the same thing for silver, but gold is your long-term stabilizer. Silver is your short 1 to 3 year asset base. And the reality is failure to get involved with it, failure to protect yourself in this economic changing market that Brandon and I talked about. Worldview Weekend, I said it before, is one of the few entities that tries to get you prepared ahead of time, not after. It's not cleaning up after the accident. It's doing something before that. And right now, with digitization and the new, what I called months ago, the financial metamorphosis this year, failure to take action is going to have consequences, and I don't care how much money you have. It's going to affect you in a very strong manner.
Let's go to this clip by Larry Fink of BlackRock and the chairman of the World Economic Forum. We played it yesterday, but just to bring again a clarity to this topic, he is so aggressive. The common theme coming out of the World Economic Forum and Davos this year, 2026, seemed to be they are just pushing for digitalization. And the word tokenization keeps coming up. Watch and listen, please.
I think the movement towards tokenization, decimalization is necessary. It's ironic that we see two emerging countries leading the world in decimalization, in the tokenization and digitization of their currency. That's Brazil and India. I think we need to move very rapidly to doing that. We would be reducing fees. We would do more democratization by reducing more fees if we had all investments on a tokenized platform that you could move from a tokenized money market fund to equities and bonds and back and forth. We have one common blockchain. We will, we can reduce corruption. So I would argue that yes, we have more dependencies on maybe one blockchain, which we could all talk about, But that being said, the activities are probably processed and more secure than ever before.
All right. They always do it based on convenience and safety and fraud. Fighting fraud and conveniency has to be in there and safety has to be in there. But one system, we all run everything through one system. Well, who's going to be in charge of that one system, Michael? And if they decide, as they move quickly over in Europe with their digital laws, and they try to push Meta and Twitter and X, as it's called now, and all these companies to disinformation, misinformation, hate speech has to be penalized and cut off. As we move to that more aggressively on a global scale, it's going to be much easier to penalize people, take the fines right out of their bank account, turn them off, shut them down, like we saw with the debanking of the Patriots during the trucker riot, or not riots, but the trucker protests in Canada. Why on earth would we want to give these folks, these globalists, that kind of power? But they were on that bandwagon all of the conference.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, the United States has joined in with it. We talked about this 8 months ago. I kept warning people when they passed the law in July. Part of that is the Genius Act, and that's Genius Act involves digitizing, and tokenization within our own country. So I guess Trump has decided if you can't beat him, join him type attitude. First few things to look at. Who are those two countries he mentions right away? Brazil and India. Guess what they're part of? The BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China. Guess what? The BRICS are all over this tokenization. They want to know exactly where your money is. It's called personal freedom that's being taken away. Your ability to stash your cash in a box somewhere. Your ability to maintain your wallet yourself in your pocket and not worry about somebody knowing how much you're carrying around is going to be gone. And unfortunately for the viewers out there, it's happening right now. That's why we talk about gold ownership. We talk about protecting your IRA, because for those people with IRAs and 401ks, what is the one roadmap that the government knows where it is right now? Your retirement plans. They got a roadmap. They know exactly where to get it. So that's the low-hanging fruit they'll grab first. That's why Ronald Reagan created precious metals IRAs, to protect you against that. Think about it. But these guys they're always saying, well, we're going to protect you against fraud and all the rest of it. Well, guess who always is the one we get caught pulling off the fraud? They are. They're the ones pulling it off on us. So the more we give them access to what we have, the more fraud they're going to do upon us. That's the way I look at it. I don't look at that as a help. I look at that as a keys to the kingdom. And if people don't see that coming, they're foolish. That's why we talk about this. It's like you're talking about the freedom of speech and the truckers in Canada. I mean, they don't want you to be free of speech. That's what you see going on in England right now, where you can't even say something or put something on the internet without possibly getting arrested. It's a crazy, insane world that we are living in, and trying to maintain through this is going to be a battle that we are here to help, that Worldview tries to help. But if you don't reach out for it, if you're going to sit back and listen to this and say, okay, that sounds like, this is great, this makes sense, and then we call to talk to you, well, gold's high. Please don't tell me gold's high. I've been hearing gold's high since it was $42.50. So save it, okay? Really, save it.
I've been hearing gold is high since $42.50.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I've been hearing it.
It was 1600, Logan, 1620, I think. Listen to this, Mark Carney on China and BRICS.
Mine is the first visit of a Canadian Prime Minister to China in nearly a decade. The world has changed much since that last visit. And I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Wow. China, BRICS, Canada, New World Order. And let's add in Mexico, which is dominated by China. Today on my radio show, I just went ahead and said what I've been thinking for a few years. Why don't we just invade Mexico and take it over? it's a disgusting country, and they're sending all of their trash right up in here to us. Their narco state, terrorism, their narco gangs, their of course the drugs. And I'm not condemning everybody that lives in Mexico and everybody that's from Mexico, but I think that a lot of the Mexicans would like to be liberated from the narco terrorist state they live under. People go to run for an office and they win, and the next thing you know, their head is chopped off and sitting on top of their automobile. We have shown the pictures of this. And you want to talk about going after Venezuela, going after Cuba, dealing with Iran. I believe Mexico is becoming one of the greatest threats to our national security that's so under-talked about, with the narco states, our terrorists that are in the cartels that are in partnership with China and their precursor chemicals to make the fentanyl. You know, there's some Islamic groups working in there. I mean, I think I also had reports today on radio I showed. Here's one. Mexico created Migrant TV to coordinate migrant political action inside America. There are so many of them here, I think, that are being funded by the CCP and others to create the trouble. In fact, I have another article on that, which is about the CCP funding a lot of the chaos up in the Twin Cities. That's coming from the CCP as well. And the Socialist Democrats of America and communist groups. So when it comes to Mexico, I think we ought to do something with that country. They're a national security threat, and particularly when they're in such a deep relationship with China. But there's Mark Carney saying that the future, the new world order, is with China. Okay, well, if China has a say in our liberty and freedoms, we're toast. Because we know they have social credit scores over there. We know they imprison Christians. They imprison pastors. I mean, if there's another reason to not have all your assets on the table that can be viewed at all times, I think this would be one of them. And I don't know. What do you think about my comments about Mexico? You go to Mexico to vacation sometimes, don't you?
I've been to Mexico on vacation. Yeah, this is true several times, many times. But I will tell you, I think Mexico, the one word for Mexico is cartel. They shouldn't be called Mexico. They should change their name to cartel.
100%.
Because that's exactly what they are.
Yep.
They're one big cartel. And where I go in Mexico, the reason why it's safe is the cartels own all the hotels and properties, so you can walk around, because if you're out of line, they'll take you out. As far as Canada goes, I got something to say to Mr. Carney. I grew up in Detroit, and for all you Canadians, you're welcome. We've saved your butts for all these years. We protect you. We oversee you. We've overseen your economy. How dare you literally do this to us? Who do you think you are? Okay? If anybody ought to be invaded, they ought to be. They got no military. We totally protect them. They can sit there and align themselves with China, which won't last long. Alberta is probably going to pull out. I hope they do, and come to the United States. Carney is a communist socialist pig, and his country, I've got one word, you're welcome. Okay?
And look at this, the White House put out today. Canada is against the Golden Dome being built over Greenland, even though the Golden Dome would protect Canada. Instead, they voted in favor of doing business with China, who will eat them up within the first year. Well, maybe we need to go and take over Canada, too, while we're at it. Because if they're going to get into relationship with China and threaten us in our hemisphere, maybe it's time for the Don Roe Doctrine, as some are calling it. Not Monroe, but Don Roe. Fine, let's take Canada. You want your North American Union? No, I don't want a North American Union. We don't need a North American Union. We'll just make it all America. Take Canada, take Mexico, and say, there you go, folks. We're done fooling around with you guys, getting into relationships with Iran and China and letting them set up shop in our backyard. We're not doing this. People think I might be being a little sarcastic, but I'm not. We have these folks. Look, this is what Lenin said before he died. We're going to take Eastern Europe, Asia. We're going to surround the United States and collapse it from within. And this is what they're doing. And here's Mark Carney playing patty cake with Xi Jinping. And by the way, this Golden Dome, we read a report on radio today. How many of these missiles from either Russia or China have to fly over that part of the world. Here it is right here. If the bad guy starts shooting, it comes over Greenland, okay? And the article talks about that. Let's see. From the Arctic flight path of Russia and China, intercontinental ballistic missiles to the Arctic shipping lanes, increasingly packed with Russian warships, Greenland's importance has surged. Well, of course, Carney then doesn't want us to have Greenland for a dome if he's in a relationship and been bought off or in a worldview partnership now with China.
I think what Trump is going to do is economic. If we shut the valve off on them, China can't save them. If we shut the valve on, it's like one of my neighbors who's from Canada, who's a really sort of crazy guy. He came over and started talking the dirt about this yesterday. And I said, you know that Lincoln Navigator you got there, why don't you just throw that away? Get rid of everything in your house that comes from the United States and pick up and get back to Canada. Well, you're not doing us a favor by being here.
Oh, is your neighbor from Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, we have one of them in our neighborhood that's from Canada. And he doesn't like a lot of our freedom of religion and doesn't like it when we have people that rent the clubhouses or the HOA buildings and have prayer, I'm told. I'm told that's what I've been told, that he doesn't like it when people do Bible studies and prayer. I'm like, who is he? Someone said, oh, he's from Canada. I'm like, really? It's time for the Canadians to go home.
I just basically told him to take a hike, at the end of the day. So I guess
I'm sure there's some good Canadians here in America listening to us. They're like, no, not me. But these liberal Canadians coming here to our country and trying to turn us into the socialist state they become, they need to go home. I mean, that's what you told your neighbor, right?
Exactly. If you don't, if you don't like it here, don't do us a favor, take off. We got somebody who'll buy your house right away. The reality is, from all of this, when we go back to the one big theme of this, the Canadians are totally dependent on the United States. I don't care what Carney says. He wants to play his stupid games. I grew up in Detroit. We used to go to Canada all the time. They are dependent on us 100%. And if they sit back and do that and we pull the rug out from under them, China is not going to help them whatsoever. And China's shaking in their boots as it is right now from Trump. So one of the things he's doing at least is showing his strength. But the big thing that we need to do is show our strength financially, because with all this going on around us, and now they're trying to sit back and digitize and tokenization and everything else, and then you're sitting back and saying, what do I control personally? What do you control personally? People who have done business with us and Swiss America put together with Worldview, you are captains of your own ship. You don't have to call somebody to do anything. You have control of it. People who have IRAs, warning, it's coming. If these Democrats take control in December and November, they will try to nationalize retirement plans to get a hold of trillions of dollars, maybe 50 to 80 trillion dollars, and they'll do it all in the name of protecting you. When somebody says they're going to protect you, run the other way.
But isn't that what Ronald Reagan said? The scariest words is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
You're right. He did.
This is what it should look like. But just go ahead and add Mexico in there. And I'm not for a North American Union. I'll make that very clear. I'm just for a greater America. The anti-Zionists are always screaming about, it's therefore a greater Israel project. Oh yeah, there's going to be a greater Israel, by the way. They're going well beyond their boundaries. Probably is not going to happen in this life. It'll be during the millennial kingdom. They're going to get all the land, which is far beyond where they're sitting right now, per Genesis 15. But you know what? I'm becoming increasingly for a greater America, a bigger America, because why on earth would we allow China and Iran and these people to infiltrate us from the north, from the south, not to mention Venezuela? You know what? Maybe Donald Trump is the guy to do it, but let's not call it a North American Union. There will be no more Mexico. There'll be no more Canada. It will become the United States of America. And by the way, we need their minerals and assets anyway to offset our massive debt and everything else. We could talk about tokenization. They could put that on our balance sheet as well. So why on earth, if these leaders of these countries are not going to either get rid of the narco-terrorists in Mexico, get out of their relationships and befriending our enemies that want the destruction of America, i.e. China, then they become a national security threat to our country. That's my opinion.
You're absolutely right, Brandon. That's one of the things that Worldview has been talking about since I've been involved with it is personalized protection and security in everything that you do. And the reality is, when you look at Mexico, we in a war, it would last about 4 days. We take that country over. They got no army worth a darn. They've got no navy. They've got nothing. Okay, but they got a bunch of them. It would be very quick and over with. As far as Canada, what are they going to do? Bring the Mounties out? I mean, they've got nothing. So the only thing they've always had is us. So I agree with you. But, the other thing has to be a tie-in with all of the personalized controls that you might have. The Canadian dollar is probably one of the worst things you can have right now. At one point in time, that was really strong, a very brief period of time, but all of their strength is based on us. And Carney, who is part of Goldman Sachs, used to be, it always amazes me, these Goldman Sachs people. I mean, it's overwhelming how many commie type people come out of that place. And it's the same thing for the same mentality as some of the people in New York City, the Jews that voted for our dear friend Mondani.
Yep.
And look what they got now. He comes into office and now he wants to eliminate them. We're living in an upside down world. The Bible predicts a lot of this. And I guess my comment to you is, being one dimensional and being in concern and control of your own assets and your own life through the various different things that Worldview offers, as well as creating your own estate protection, is of paramount importance now. You either do it ahead of time, acting versus reacting, or do it later, pay us more. And again, gold is not expensive. Gold is cheap. And please save the price right now. People call up, oh, gold's real high. Really?
Look at this. Epoch Times, roughly 2,400 undeclared foreign agents operate in Canada, government estimates. Yeah. And a lot of those are China. Okay. So isn't it interesting that Canada and Mexico, to our north, to our south, are becoming more and more of an existential threat to the United States of America? And Carney is making deals with Canada, with Mexico, and of course now he's opposed to the Iron Dome. Apparently, according to the Globe and Mail, Carney leaves Davos without meeting Trump after speech on U.S. rupture of world order. Of course, let's not forget Carney is a former a banker as well.
He's Goldman Sachs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, Goldman Sachs.
All right, so if you want to put gold in your IRA, take possession of it. By the way, what are the inventories like? If someone were to put in an order wanting to take possession, are they going to wait weeks? What's the deal?
No. The idea of doing business with Swiss American, I said it to a guy the other day, 99%, and I can say this without equivocation, since the regulations of this industry ended in 87 and 88, where you had to have inventory to order to sell something, that doesn't exist anymore. Most of these companies drop ship. So if they buy, you send them money, and then they take your money and send it to a wholesaler who ships it to you. Swiss America, every one of our clients sees one thing, you're out there, you know what I'm saying? Who's on the return envelope there? Swiss America, our office. We inspect everything we send. When you buy a gold coin, make sure it weighs right. Make sure it looks right. We give you the ability to exchange it. So sometimes less is not more. When you deal with a company who has inventory like we do, we can deliver hundreds of millions of dollars of gold next week. I mean, literally can deliver that. But, we always tell people when they come to our building, they're overwhelmed. They say, God, this is huge. And we say, yeah, and there's a lot of guns in here, too. So, everybody's armed, including me right now. But at the end of the day, we don't sell what we don't have. We have a massive amount available. Deliveries are not a problem. And the quality of your delivery and what you're getting is not a problem. We have it available, and we can help on whatever your needs might be, including your IRA.
Logan, let's check this. I want to see if this is true. Thousands of Canadians in Alberta lined up to sign a petition to declare independence from China. From Canada. Alberta doesn't want to be a part of Canada, I guess. They want to be a part of America, particularly since he's aligned up with China. So even a lot of the Canadians, it sounds like, would like to become Americans and stop being Canadians. I mean, I want to search that if we can find anything on that.
The word is that I understand the Prime Minister of Alberta is very close to pulling it off. And if she pulls out, that's the richest region they have in their country. If she pulls out and becomes a state in the United States of America, it's the beginning of the end of Canada.
Look at that. Temperatures were negative 22 Celsius Thursday when the hall doors opened. Stony Plains Heritage Park, the icy parking lot was already filled up. Hundreds stood in line, braving the winning cold. At the head of the line, volunteer Nicholas Casper thanked the people for braving the cold and beseeched them to each call 5 friends. They stood in line to sign Stay Free Alberta's petition calling for an Alberta referendum on independence from Canada. Let them join America. Let's go ahead and get it going, and let's make Canada the 51st state. You know, a lot of people have joked with President Trump when he was saying that. But, you know, maybe, again, the deal is he realizes not only what they have in their ground, their minerals and et cetera, and hydroelectricity and whatnot, but the threat that Canada's leaders are becoming to our hemisphere because of their relationships with our enemies. So, yeah, maybe it's time to make Canada part of America. I want to stress, I am not for a North American Union. I'm just for a greater America.
Totally agree. I think it's a needed situation. And I think when you look at what's gone on in Canada, one of the other things we should really pray for those people in Canada, the Christians, because they have been abused in Canada.
Indeed. I'll tell you what, they can have California.
Totally abused.
Well, let's give them California. Canada can have California if they want it.
And Minnesota. They can have Minnesota.
They can have Canada and Minnesota, California and Minnesota, and then we're going to take everything else they got up top there.
Mm. No, that's a good idea. They could have Gavin Newsom, too. So, that idiot.
There you go. All right, get your free packet, no obligation, free packet of information from Michael Weiner, who's been doing this. How many years, Michael?
46. Although I think I'm 1,000 years old right now, but at the end of the day, yeah.
Come here, Dolly. Come say hi to Michael. He's always talking about you. Come on up. Say hi to Michael. There she is. Say hi to Michael. Look, hey, get your face in the camera.
Dolly,
Go full screen.
Dolly,
Where's
that outfit I sent you? I sent her a very special outfit. She's going to look great.
Did she get an outfit from you?
Not yet, but she will.
Oh, all right. Well, there she is. You are always asking about her. You know what? The line of the night, Dolly and Logan, is Michael Weiner. I've been hearing gold is high since $42.50.
It's true. It is absolutely true. I talked to a client back in 1976.
Get off my yard, kids.
Who said I could buy General Motors stock cheaper than I could buy gold. Why should I buy gold? Well, guess what? We're going to be sitting here at the end of the year, and people are going to say gold is high when it's 6,000, 5,800, and here we go again.
Here we go.
So,
hey, by the way, talk to me real quick. Talk to me about the ratio. A lot of people talk about the ratio between gold and silver. The ratio between gold and silver. Tell me your thoughts on that, and where is it going?
I've been hearing about.
Okay, we got a dogfight going on. Got a dogfight in the studio. Sorry.
We've been talking about the ratio of gold to silver since 1976, and guess what? It never happens. It's a sales pitch. Okay, you could turn to somebody and say, if the ratio goes up 10 times, you'll make 10 times on your money. The ratio has nothing to do with what's going on with silver right now. What's going on with silver right now is a lack of inventory and utilization. So don't buy it back on ratio, because that's the guys who are selling you hype, or the guys who are selling you ETFs. And all of you people who your brokers sell you ETFs, please do not tell me you own gold. You own a piece of paper, and you're betting on the price. And if silver collapses for a couple months and goes down 30 or 40 bucks, and you get stopped out of the market because you lost, my clients are still going to be in when it comes back to 150.
Wow.
So, we deal in the cash market, not in paper. You're going to buy gold, buy the real thing. Don't buy a picture.
And by the way, any of you that want to get rid of any of your sterling silver, because I think sterling silver is 92.5% silver, right?
Yeah.
So any of you that want to get rid of your sterling silver, you don't use it anymore, you don't care about it anymore. I'm being dead serious. Contact us to donate it to our foundation and get a tax receipt. You can donate it to our foundation, and we'll send you back a tax receipt for your contribution. We'll gladly take donations in the form of sterling silver that you don't use anymore, you want to get rid of, because it is amazing how many people they inherited sterling silver from their parents and grandparents, and they could care less about it. I'm saying to you, it's 92.5% silver. If you don't want it, contact us through our number with Melissa and secure it, insure it, ship it to us. We'll send you back a tax receipt through our foundation, and you make a contribution in your sterling silver to the foundation. I don't know why we haven't done that sooner, because it's amazing the people that get rid of stuff because they think that's just old antiques, it's not valuable. And they don't realize there's sterling silver in there.
You're absolutely right. That's why numismatics are so great, because when you buy numismatic gold, at least you buy something. And we talked about the person with 400,000 that came here from California. I just had another lady who bought a house. She lived in Minnesota, really great gal. She just sold off part of her profits to buy a home in Florida. We got her a check for $246,000. And she said, well, Michael, do you need my social or anything? I said, no, where am I sending the check? Where can you do that legally? Think about it.
Isn't that something? All right, guys, get your free packet of information. No risk, no obligation. 877-864-1072, 877-864-1072, or worldviewgold.com to fill out the information and get a free packet, worldviewgold.com. I don't give financial opinion. I don't give financial advice. I do give financial opinion. Do your own due diligence. I think that starts with a free packet of information. 1-877-864-1072 or worldviewgold.com. Michael, the storm is coming into the Mid-South. We've got our LP generator. We've got our solar generator. Today we started our gasoline generator. We've got three generators if we need it, so we can charge our satellite phones, get our cell phones, our iPads, and hopefully we won't need any of that, because the generator that runs the whole studio is LP, humongous Generac. But they're saying this could be a big deal, Michael.
I'm sending Dolly her jacket. That's what
you're going to need a jacket.
It's very fashionable too. Very fashionable.
Yep, she's going to need it. All right, thank you, my friend. Have a great weekend. What's the low going to be in Arizona this weekend? Just
51.
Yeah,
it's rough.
All right,
I'm going to wear a long sleeve. Thank you.
Put on a jacket. Michael Weiner checking in.
Bye-bye.
They've been telling me gold's high since $42.50. That's a pretty good line there. All right, Michael Weiner checking in. All right, guys, that's our broadcast. Roll the music. Call it a night. We'll be praying for you. You pray for us. Let's all make it through this storm, and let's pray that folks don't lose their life. Okay, it looks like a serious storm, and if it's going to pan out the way they say it is, unfortunately, we're going to have some bad reports. But let's try to take care of each other. Check on your neighbors. Check on your elderly neighbors for sure, folks. And again, if this develops into something, we'll come back on the air, report on it. We'll log into a lot of the TV, transportation, Tennessee transportation, Mississippi, different states. We'll log into all their public access. We'll do a little reporting over the weekend on this in between studying for the book of Daniel, of course, Sunday night. All right, thanks for tuning in and for supporting us, worldviewfoundation.com. Until next time, I'm Brandon House. May God save America. Take care.